Sadly, slavery has been a part of world history, and unfortunately it's been very common. There's virtually no people group you can point to that were not slaves or that did not have slaves. But America had a unique ending to slavery. Unlike other nations, you actually had whites go to war against whites to end black slavery. The road to the ending of slavery was a rocky road. From the time slavery was introduced in the early 1600s, right after that you had abolitionists that came on the scene. So from the beginning there was opposition, but it finally culminated in what we call the Civil War. And during the Civil War, this was a real turning point in the way that we approached slavery. This is part of the election of 1864. It's Republicans versus Democrats. This is the Republican platform, this is the Democratic platform. And here, the Republican platform said, look, let's just pass a constitutional amendment and get slavery ended, period. So this is the first call for a constitutional amendment to end slavery. Shortly after this platform, Republicans were reelected, Abraham Lincoln was reelected. They quickly began work to end slavery through a constitutional amendment. By February of 1865, we had passed a constitutional amendment, the 13th Amendment, that would abolish slavery. It went through the Senate, it went through the House. When it went through the House, this man, Henry Highland Garnett, black civil rights leader, preached this sermon inside the Capitol the Sunday after they passed the 13th Amendment. It was a 2-hour sermon. It was a great rejoicing over the end of slavery after 240 years. It then went to the states to be ratified. It takes 3/4 of the states to ratify a constitutional amendment, and they did that. And finally, slavery was ended. The amendment was passed in February, and by December of that year, slavery was completely eliminated. This happens to be California's ratification of the 13th Amendment. These are those who supported in the Senate and the House the end of slavery. Now actually down here, these are the folks who wanted slavery to continue. So all over the United States, the 13th Amendment was ratified, and it needed 27 states to become a constitutional amendment. It surpassed that, and by the way, America's never been perfect, but unlike other nations, we brought slavery to an end like no other nation had. Today in the world, there is more slavery that exists in the world today than at any other point in human history. So while America is not perfect, it is unique among the nations, and this is part of the heritage and history that we can celebrate.